perform dances and things like that, because we think that with all the years that they have spent maybe in the house alone or what, they need some joyful entertainment, something like this.
So in this case, you use culture as a way of service.
Yeah.
For us here, it's not service anymore because we just enjoy it. It's mostly for celebrating diversity and entertainment, right? But this time you can use that would have impact. Culture to service. Now let's go a little bit further. Can you use Culture Night in helping fulfill the mission of the university? Let's identify what would be the mission of the university. What would the university want to every single student? What would they want to them to accomplish?
To be a leader.
To be a leader, more specific?
In their families.
Yeah.
Society.
To be,
Church
that they would establish peace internationally. How does that happen? Imagine yourself. How can you see yourself established in peace? What do you need first?
To have peace.
Huh?
I was saying to have peace, to be at peace.
Oh, internally, that you will have peace.
I guess one of the things that we need is connection.
Okay, good. Why do you need connection?
Because if we are connected only to ourselves, how can we go abroad?
Correct. So you cannot expand your influence, right?
So
what else do you need connections?
Who said peace? It implies having more than one person beside internal peace. You know that culture or countries is conflict. And connecting people, I've just built on his work and said that it's a way to link more than two entities and bring them together and have them enjoy the culture or the nature of each of one of them. And by so doing, the way you see the other person becomes different. A few times ago, we thought, okay, I think it's not appropriate to mention here, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it's a project that is not yet enclosed, unveiled, so there's no way that I have to unveil it while the project manager himself has not thought about it campus-wide. But what I'm trying to say is that there are many different ways that as we come here to organize things, we can link either or connect we students here to our community back home and build that bridge that will serve us as we live here or serve other people that will go here. I know pretty much that in a lot of countries, people don't know what is pure in Hawaii.
Correct.
Okay. But if we can present something, I think you said something like that last time, that if we can have the government of our various countries know about the performances of Culture Night, telling them that this is a student from our country that is performing to present our culture. The government knows about the school, know about the student. And what's wonderful to be if tomorrow you graduate and you go home and one of the government officials welcome you, give you a job, or make your connection because you've been able to present your country abroad.
Yeah, and we don't have to be, and thank you for sharing that, because we really need to identify what are the mutual benefits. We're doing this so we can help our country, and in turn our country can help us, those connections. Because to put it simply, no matter how good your cultural connections are, if you don't get a job when you go home or wherever you go, I don't think we need to discuss what the effects of unemployment to people, but it's not fun. And so hopefully what we're doing right now, impact projects, let's extend them, not only for our benefit, again, impact for all. Andre?
I was like thinking today, we had the second dean, we'll say, of the Tahitian culture. Like she's this one, his name is Koko Hatahata, and he's the dean of everything culturally in Tahiti. He knows everything about dance and procedures or whatever. And the second one is a woman, and she's right here at in Hawaii. And she came and she was staying with us in the Tahitian village all day long. She just wanted to stay over there. And she actually came years ago to help out PCC. and she knew that next year we're gonna have the 50th anniversary of PCC, and throughout all the things that she saw, she was like so enthusiastic to come back next year with not only she will stay over here with us for 6 months, and she will review things historically and everything, and she will bring even her personal people to come over here to teach us more about the drummings, more about the dance and everything. So that's the fact that dance is not only dance, but it's real connection. When we are dancing at Culture Night, we're actually making connection with other people from Samoa, from China, those who came. And when we see them as a leader as well, that can be our connection for future, we can see how it can just go abroad. And she does that voluntarily. She was like, I'm gonna come to help out PCC. I'm gonna stay here for 6 months and I'm gonna help out with it.
Hopefully we can take advantage of that opportunity and also build bridges for our students here. Okay, we can go on, and the reason why we're spending some time here is because we would like to invite you in this effort. And so now let's try it. Let's try it. Think of a project, any activity. So let's go beyond what an activity is and create projects that has effects and impact for people. And you can identify and design. We can start designing experiences. Let me just say, lastly, before I'll have you go and think about it, and then for a few minutes, and then we'll have sharing after. It's happening. And the only reason why we're rallying everybody in here is there will be chapters who will take this seriously, and their people will benefit from it. And then there are those who may be struggling a bit, and that's why we're here. Hopefully we can help each other. And the simple hope is that everybody can benefit, and that you will be the start of making that change. As you start thinking of those projects, we can go on. Let me just share this little quote from, who knows Sir Winston Churchill? Who is he?
He's the man from England whose voice just spread out and unify all England to fight against the enemy. And he's very cool. Like, he's very straightforward, and the words that he's using is simple but strong. He has a strong effect on everyone.
And he's the head of the Prime Minister at that time, specifically in World War II. So he did good. Matt, can you read this for us, please?
To every man that comes in this lifetime, the special moment when he is figuratively trapped on the shoulder, and offered a chance to do a very special thing, unique to him and fitted to his talents. What a tragedy if that moment should find him unprepared or unqualified for the work which would be his finest hour.
The reason why I wanted to share this with you is this is not going to be an easy task. But the only thing I can promise you is that it will not only help you develop your leadership skills. Next week, I'll make sure before I come in that the audio, we'll learn about project management a little bit and see how we can start making an impact with our projects. But let me share. Let me share one. This was shared to me by a philanthropist. I first learned of this by a philanthropist in the Philippines who built a business school. And so far he has helped more than 2,000 recipients now of entrepreneurship training, and most of them are millionaires now because of that. I experienced the sad part of this because I was offered the first time. Unfortunately, I did not take the opportunity, and I know how it feels. It's terrible. I'm just grateful that I was given a second chance. So, we'll maybe keep this in mind. So before we close, we finish this. Get started with one. Think of one activity or project activity that we have to convert it into a project. It may be a Skype, but it has to be something different because we already know how everything, well, we have an idea of how everything runs on a regular basis. The simple formula is identify the activity or the project. For example, career event or your Skype event. How can we convert this into a project that would have an impact for all? And so that's when we start designing experience. So I'll give you about, this may take a few more practices, but why don't you start one right now? You won't be able to formulate it all. So after 3 minutes, I'd like you to share it with your neighbor. And hopefully we can gather a lot of ideas so that we'll compile them and share them to everybody. Okay? 3 minutes. Identify one. And then I want you, after this, the assignment, is continue the assignment to talk to your presidency. Hopefully we can convert all activities into impact projects. Cool? Any? Good? Are you thinking? Yeah, I just want to check. Because I'm beginning to wonder if the answer is on the floor or on the ceiling or is it on my face? So, okay, I'll let you be. Right now, it's just letting you give a chance to somehow break, to expand our horizons. Because we're just so used to usual activities.
Yeah.
So this is just a moment to expand our horizons, to think a little bit further. Okay, let's simplify it. Culture Night, I see it as a means for building tourism for your own country. Have you heard of anyone who's done a Culture Night presentation as a way to promote tourism for their country, to attract people to visit their countries? Have you ever seen any presentation here?
I haven't seen it yet, but I have a brother I grew up with. The only thing he made money with it's dancing, cultural dance. It's a cousin of mine, and right now he has a school in Portugal. When he has a school, a real school, where he teaches African dance to people. And each summer he will bring students to internship back home. It's money-making business for him because he just promotes his culture by presenting. People were so interested that he decided to make it a school. And a school, he made people traveling down every year to see the culture that they think they have learned by just performing dances. You know, so I think it's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
So the next time you plan your culture night, just think about it. I'll work with your presidency or your committees. How can we promote tourism for our country through this? And someone might be assigned specifically just to videotape it. Someone would upload it on YouTube. And then possibly present it to your government. We've had so many hits. At our school, about 70 countries represented saw this film. So those are just raw ideas. Anyone who has a thought? Matt?
about the thing that we're thinking about?
Yeah.
So the plan that we have for our chapter at the moment is to not just be a chapter that receives money, but when receiving the money to return it. And so I don't know if anyone's seen the blankets out there, but we're supposed to be a part of ours, but because someone asked for it to be their major project, we let them have it. So our thing is to help out, especially, we have a lot of trouble getting our TVA people out to our activities.
Yeah.
And so we want to reach out to them, and so we saw that the families were struggling, so we put together, we helped with the major project to put together an idea of how we can give back to the TVA, to the babies and stuff, and so we've got the blankets, and so next semester with the money that we get from this semester, we're going to keep putting up those hampers, like baby powders and the correct soaps and stuff like that, so that the newly moms can have assistance because of the money here. It's not that great compared to how much you have to pay for it. So.
Well, that's exactly what impact projects are. They're not just routine things that we do. Not just things that are required for you to do as a chapter. And hopefully, if this becomes the standard for what we're doing, we should be able to see more effects. Well, hopefully we'll see it all together. Any other ones who have thought of Noah?
Yeah, you know, I know clubs are required to have a service project. The service project we plan this semester, hopefully we'll be able to do it, is to go around and collect, without its food, mostly food, like canned food and other things, and donate it. There's alumni of this school who used to be an African club president. She's now doing her master in University of Hawaii. Hawaii State University, I don't know how it's called. So she said in the past they experienced something like that when they go around the community and the school and ask students and other people to donate food, which they go give to one philanthropic guy, a pastor actually, who gave those food to homeless people who are located somewhere exactly. I don't know, but she's managing a project for us. We see it as a project truly, not only for this community or for people who are homeless here in Laie, but at the same time, we've had a vision that if we can do these things here, we can manage a project that will take people somewhere on the continent and not being forced or have people donate things from here down there, but in the same way, we'll be able to organize people to donate here. We can organize people back home that they can donate for those who are in need, and then have a very philanthropic project that will help maybe children or women.
Good. Well, the one thing that I would like to highlight with what Noah keeps saying, the projects, amazingly enough, whatever the projects may be, if we can always think about, if you have heard Noah emphasize always, that it would affect back home, then I think our reach is expanding more than what we're doing out here. Last that I would like to give a challenge with is there anyone in here who has embassies or government offices? What are they called? Consular embassies? In Hawaii? Anyone here who has them? Big Island. We have, the Philippines have, and the reason why this came to mind is the former president, Hiro, has had connections with their embassies. That's another thing to think about with career events is if we can have good tie-ups with, and they may not be in on the island. A good question is how can we, is there any way we can tie up with our embassies here? Can you see what impact it may have if you have good connections with your embassies? For example, do joint service projects with them. That you offer to be the warm bodies. You bring you can even have a joint project. Philippine embassies with the Philippine student chapters. This is our last thing to think about. What do you think would be the impact, or do you see any value in it? as to the things that you need to as students. Anything?
I think it's about the start, yeah. So like, I think, trying to make an activity become a project. What we really do is to make a difference. So we want to make a difference in the chapter, for school, and for each individual life. But soon enough, we can graduate from school.
Yeah.
They can have their own life, they get married, have their own life. What they could learn here, we're gonna build them to be who they are.
Correct.
So, like, as we heard what it's like, like, raise the bar. As we, right now, as we're probably going to be the first generation to try to convert activity to be a project, try to make a difference. And when new generation come, they actually, like, if they see that, okay, there's some from some point all the way up to our point right now, there's something changing. And they'll be consistently, they want to change, they want to make a difference too. So they want to make people really start thinking more, what can they do?
Yeah.
That it actually help us think our box. It's help us be able to be creative and find opportunity for, what you say, find connections.
Correct. So hopefully, before anyone leaves this university, hopefully embassies will be our easy access to any of the resources that we may need. So just something to think about. That will be the assignment. Continue on with the assignment next week. Just bring ideas. But before we end, I'd like to turn the time to Connie and Nico. Give them a chance. This might give us other ideas of projects that we can think about.
Hello, dear President.
Oh.
It's an honor for me to be here tonight. Actually, my name is Kone. Kone, because if you call me Connie, I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, okay. Kone, I don't want you to be in trouble.
No, it's okay. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to help people spell my name. Okay. Did anybody know what is chocolate here?
What was that?
Chocolate. What is chocolate? Yeah. Does anybody know chocolate?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We all know chocolate. Okay. Where does chocolate come from? From cocoa. Okay. And this is actually a quiz. Okay. Where this cocoa is produced? Where this cocoa come from? Cocoa that they use to make chocolate. Where? Ghana, right?
Caribbean,
Where?
Caribbean, Mexico.
Mexico, great. Samoa, yes. Okay, I'm gonna be short. Ghana, great, but most of this cocoa comes from Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast produces 40% of the worldwide cocoa. It's the biggest country that produces cocoa in the world. So basically, if you and I eat chocolate, it's because people work very hard in Ivory Coast. But there is one thing wrong in the chocolate industry in Ivory Coast. They use children as workers. Some of them are used as slaves, some of them don't have parents, and some of them live in poverty. So they come from human trafficking. And from my personal experience, my family has experienced some problems. So I was forced to work in the chocolate plantations in order to make money to eat, to provide food at home, and to go to school. But I got one chance that those kids didn't get in the life. I got a chance to go to school. I learned how to read and write. And because I was able to read, I met the missionaries, joined the church, I served the mission, and now I'm married and I'm here. That's a miracle. When I came here, I was in a two situations. First, I I had to forget about everything and said, look, I was able to get out of this situation. I'm okay with my wife here. We're studying at BYU. We don't care. Or I have to think in a different way and say, look, I have been blessed in my life. The gospel changed my life. Education changes my life. I need to do something for those children. That's why we start Well Africa. Well Africa means World Education Legacy for Liberty. We want to fix the situation, to provide education for those children, to give them the same opportunity that I received. Because education works. That's why I'm here. Today I speak almost 7 languages because I have been educated. I can dream for a better future, like you guys. So, the project is not to blame anybody, because we think that we can fix or change the world in a different way. People fought, people protest, but nothing was able to change. Our goal is to put everybody together and make the change happen. We will work with the chocolate companies, we will work with the farmers, with the Ivory Coast government, side by side. Our motto is nobody is guilty, but everybody is responsible. So we realize that we are on a wonderful campus here with more than 17 countries united together, studying. People, I hear you saying right away that students need to make the change. We want to make some changes in the world, right? And we said, what about starting a movement from this school, with the student of this school, with the president of the club? That's why we asked the permission to come to talk with you tonight. To say, look, this is our project. This is what we want to do. Please help us and make it happen. Make the prophecy that David Omake made many years ago when he said, from this school, men and women will come and go in the world and bring peace. This is our project. We need you guys. We need to be in your team to talk with your students. But we understand that nothing's going to happen if you guys as president didn't support us. So Nico is our public relations director. She will tell you exactly how we want you to help us make this change happen.
So like Cody said, the reason that we came here is because you guys have so much influence on what happens on this campus. You guys are all leaders and you all have your own group that you guys take care of, that you guys provide activities for. And a couple semesters ago, I was the president of the European Club, and I know that you guys have so many responsibilities and you have so many things you have to organize and plan. So what we're trying to do is not lay on more responsibilities, but we want to partner with you guys, and we want to help you when you're trying to do projects, because I know you have to do some service hours, and you put on events, that we're here, we can partner with you guys, and we can help you guys make things happen, but we can also put a purpose behind it. So what I want you guys to do, we were making a website, and we're making a Facebook page, so that's all in progress. I would hope that I can give this to you right now, but what I'd like you to do is email me. I'm going to give you my email so that I know that you're involved and that you're willing to be involved in future projects. And what we need you guys to do 2 things. Once we get our Facebook page and our website up, we're going to have a video. And that video on our Facebook page needs to have as many likes as possible. So when we go and talk to the chocolate companies and we talk to the governments, we can say, look at these people, look at everybody here on this campus from all over the world and see how they're supporting this project. So that's something very simple for you guys to do. And if you guys can inspire your groups and your clubs to go on and watch a video, and it's just one click of a button, but it makes all the world for us. So that's the first thing that I'd like you to do. The second thing is, if you have a project or if you have a group of people that you think would be interested in helping us, send them to us, and maybe we can partner with you guys and make an event. We're trying to do fundraisers, so kind of like one fundraiser or two fundraisers a semester, and we can make that part of the Samoan Club in Well Africa or the African Club in Well Africa. So we can help you guys do your job as club presidents, but we can also help this amazing purpose. So can I come on the computer and just put my email address?
Would you just like to write it on the board?
Yeah, do you have a marker? Okay, so our Facebook page is going to be done in the next 2 days, hopefully sooner rather than later. But my name is Nico.